What's going on, boxing fans? It's Julian Williams with the Distance. I have a prediction video. March 31st, heavyweight championship fight. David Tua versus Friday. I think you pronounce it Ahunya or something like that. Ahunanya, whatever. But I'm just gonna call him Friday in this video because he has a very difficult last name to pronounce. I don't know if it's Ahunanya. I think it's Ahunanya, but anyway, I'm just gonna call him Friday to avoid confusion. But anyway, overall, this is a decent heavyweight match. David Tua, is been kind of on the comeback trail for a couple years now. I do think that he does really need to step up his competition, and this man defeated the last man that David Tua defeated in one round, who was Shane Cameron. So overall, it's an okay fight. We have seen Ahunanya in other fights. We've seen him fight Cameron. He was in another fight that I've seen. I can't think of, against Sergey Vukovic, whoever the hell his name is, and against Alexander Povetkin. He fought these guys. But overall, this is and David Tua has been in the ring with some of the best. Oleg Maskayev, John Ruiz, and I'm saying some of the best, like some of the best fighters or some good fighters, solid fighters in this era. Maskayev, Ruiz, Lennox Lewis, Hasim Rahman, and that was my phone vibrating there, but and that made me lose my train of thought. But you get the idea. I think that Tua's been in the ring with the better fighters. But and this is like in a different decade though. So you have an older David Tua and an older Ahunanya. But I'm just gonna break down this fight with both their abilities in the sport. Ahunanya, has this style to where he's very good at countering and staying on the outside. Keeps the hands up to kind of suck you in so he can get you with that counter shot. In this fight, Friday has to stay on the outside in this fight because David Tua wants you on the inside so he can land that devastating right or left hook they likes to land. Pretty much David Tua, he did have trouble against Ika Ibuchi, who's a bigger fighter who's able to outland him on the inside. Ahunanya does not want to fight David Tua on the inside in this fight. And the reason he doesn't want to fight David Tua on the inside is simply because he's not going to be able to counter David Tua on the inside, because I think that David Tua will probably outwork him on the inside. So it's going to take away countering opportunities. But if he could stay on the outside and makes David Tua come in, have to commit to him, and he can land a nice counter right hand. I think that the counter right hand is probably could probably offset the counter right or the counter left can offset any punch that Tua throws. But especially because Tua does lead in with the hook. That's just Tua's style. He leads in with a hook. But I do think that Friday needs to stay on the outside in this fight. I think other than staying on the outside in this fight, I do think that countering Tua's shots, jabbing. I think jabbing using the hand speed that he has. He doesn't have necessarily world class hand speed, but using the hand speed that he has, I think that good lateral movement. He's shown decent lateral movement. I think okay lateral movement, and basically boxing in this fight could probably win Friday this fight. I honestly think that he has pretty good skill, and decent skill. I do think he does land some very good counter shots, and I do think that his ability to stay on the outside has to be tip top in this fight. David Tua, in this fight, David Tua actually wants to jab more. As you can tell in other fights with Friday that he has trouble protecting himself from the jab. Though I don't think that Tua has a big long reach, I think that jabbing more will probably distract. Will probably it could take away countering opportunities from Friday, because he tends to kind of just simply take steps back. He takes steps back when you jab at him. So I do think that throwing the jab towards the chest. I think also keeping. I do think that if he could get Friday on the ropes, I think that that will lead to the fight being on the inside, leading to opportunities, to fight, hit him to the body and hit him with that devastating hook that he likes to throw. But I think that necessarily the way for Tua to win is jabbing. The jab is going to be an important weapon for David Tua in this fight, because for David Tua, he wants to jab his way into the inside. If he jabs his way to the inside, it's going to lead, it's going to bring an opportunity for David Tua to land that hook. The devastating hook, as I've mentioned in this video, that he likes to land. He has to jab his way into the inside. When he jabs his way into the inside, it's going to, he could, pretty much, I think that David Tua could win the inside battle, and David Tua could possibly get the knockout. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you who I think is going to win. I'm going to tell you why I think they're going to win. I'm going to go with David Tua by knockout in the 6th round. I think David Tua wins this fight by knockout, and this is if we have a motivated David Tua, because there's the rumors on boxing scene. You can't always believe boxing scene that he's unmotivated, blah blah blah, whatever. But I'm gonna base it on the boxer David Tua. I'm gonna base it on his boxing ability. I'm gonna go with David Tua knockout in the 6th round. I think that David Tua is gonna win this fight because he does carry power in both hands. Though Friday has a pretty decent chin, one thing stands out to me is that he has not been in the ring since 2008. A couple years, almost 2 years, has not been in the ring. So will ring rust show against a fighter like David Tua, who's aggressive, who will pressure you, who could fight on the inside, who could knock you out, who can knock you out, has pretty good knockout power. You have a little guy who could come in, and he's not necessarily a little guy, but compared to a lot of the other heavyweights, he's fairly small. He's about, I think he's 5'10", 5'11", if you ask me. But David Tua, I just think that David Tua will work his way to the inside and get the knockout by 6. But this may be another case where I'm talking longer than the fight lasts. Who knows? But anyway, that was the distance. I'm going with David Tua, knockout round 6. But anyway, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.